Have you ever imagined what it would be like to leave a small town where everyone knows everyone to face the challenges of a big city full of dreams and dangers? This is the story of Elize Matsunaga, a woman who was born in a simple place with few resources but with big dreams. She was looking for a better life, a chance to change her destiny. But what started as a dream ended up becoming one of the most shocking stories in Brazil. This is a story that mixes love, betrayal, and decisions that changed everything. A story that shows how far human beings can go when they are at their limit. Today, we are going to delve into this plot and discover the secrets behind one of the most talked about crimes in the country. Before we start, check to see if you are already subscribed to the channel. That way, you won't miss any of the chilling stories we bring here. And if you are not, take advantage now and subscribe. Shall we begin? Elize Kitano Matsunaga was born in Chopinzinho, Paraná, a place where everyone knows each other, with just over 20,000 inhabitants. Raised by a single mother, she had a simple childhood, without luxuries. Despite the difficulties, she had dreams. At 18, Elize decided to leave her hometown and go to Curitiba, where she took a technical nursing course. But she wanted more. Seeking something bigger, Elize moved to São Paulo. It was there, in the city that never sleeps, that she made a decision that would change her life forever. Without many options, she began working as an escort. Like so many other people trying to survive, she entered a world that mixes desire, secrets, and danger. It was in this environment that Elize met Kitano Matsunaga, a wealthy businessman and heir to Yoki, one of the largest food companies in Brazil. While Elize came from a simple life, Marcos had everything: money, comfort, the best that life had to offer. But there was something about Elize that caught his attention. Maybe it was the contrast of worlds. Maybe it was the forbidden. The fact is that they began a relationship. But there was a problem. Marcos was married. For 3 years, he kept Elize as his lover. 3 years of secret encounters. 3 years of empty promises. Until, in 2009, he got divorced and finally married Elize. It seemed like a happy ending, but it was only the beginning of a tragedy. A year after the wedding, Elize began to suspect that Marcos was repeating what he had done with his first wife. She suspected that she was being cheated on. Imagine the pain, the humiliation, the feeling of being deceived. But Elize was not a woman who left things to chance. In 2012, she hired a detective to follow Marcos. And what she discovered confirmed her worst fears. The detective caught Marcos leaving with another woman and entering a luxury hotel. The evidence was clear: photos, records, everything. Elize's anger grew with each passing moment. On May 19th, 2012, Elize returned from a trip and confronted Marcos. An explosive argument took over the couple's apartment. Screams, accusations, cutting words that can destroy a person. According to Elize, Marcos threatened to take her daughter away from her and called her something she never forgot. "You're going back to the trash you came from." And that's when everything changed. Elize grabbed a gun and fired. A single shot to Marcos's head. He fell, and silence filled the apartment. But the story doesn't end there. What happened next is so terrifying that it seems unimaginable. Using her nursing knowledge, Elize dismembered Marcos's body into 6 parts: head, arms, legs, torso. Everything was placed in suitcases that she abandoned on a road. Cold, calculated, without a trace, or so she thought. When the suitcases were found, the investigation quickly led the police to Elize. The building's security cameras revealed everything. She was arrested, tried and convicted. Elize Matsunaga was tried and convicted of the murder and dismemberment of her husband, Marcos Kitano Matsunaga. She was sentenced to 19 years, 11 months, and 1 day in prison. This sentence was determined taking into account the crime of qualified homicide and the crime of destruction and concealment of a corpse. The following were the qualifications of the crime that were reflected in this sentence. Qualified homicide. The murder was considered qualified because the jury understood that she killed Marcos for a despicable reason, revenge for the extramarital affair, and with a means that made it difficult for the victim to defend himself. He was hit by an unexpected shot, and concealment of the corpse. After the murder, Elize dismembered Marcos's body and abandoned it in different places to make it difficult to identify and prevent it from being linked to the crime. During the trial, the fact that Elize had confessed to the crime was considered an extenuating circumstance. In addition, her defense argued that she acted after a big argument in which Marcos had made threats and said offensive words. Elize began serving her sentence in a closed regime, but over the years, she managed to progress to more lenient regimes, such as semi-open. This means that she can work and study outside of prison, returning only to sleep in the prison unit. Elize's trial sparked many discussions about domestic violence, social inequality, and the extreme emotions that lead people to commit such serious acts. Today, she is serving a lighter sentence, but her story still leaves a mark on the country's memory. But the question remains, what leads a person to cross this line? Is it love, hate, desperation? And you, what would you do if you were in her shoes? To what extent can love turn into hate? Think carefully, because often the scariest monsters are not in the shadows. They can be right next to us, or inside ourselves. If you like this story and want to learn more about dark cases in Brazil, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who likes chilling stories. Until the next episode.